Good morning, students. Chapter 8 Local Government. Today we'll discuss about topic 3, that is 73rd Amendments. In last video already we've discussed about the 73rd Amendment. That 73rd Amendment was regarding the rural local government, and that is also known as Panchayati Raj institutions. First provision already we have discussed, that is 3-tier structure. There are 3-tier structures at village level gram panchayat, at block level block samiti or panchayat samiti or taluka panchayat, at the apex top level jila parishad. Today we will discuss about the second provision. It is about the elections. Friends, all 3 levels of panchayat institutions are elected directly by the peoples. There are 3 structures. We go from at village level gram panchayat, intermediate level block samiti या block panchayat, and top west level third level is जिला पंचायत या जिला परिषद. So all 3 levels are there, and members of all these institutions are directly elected by the people. The term is about 5 years. After every 5 years, elections are take place for these institutions, for these bodies. If the state government dissolve the panchayat before the end of its 5 terms, यदि 5 साल पूरे होने से पहले ही कोई भी स्टेट गवर्नमेंट किसी भी बॉडी को, ग्राम पंचायत को या किसी भी डिस्ट्रिक्ट ब्लॉक समिति या जिला परिषद को डिसमिस कर देती, डिसॉल्व कर देती है, देन विद इन 6 month द इलेक्शंस should be take place. So fresh elections must be held within 6 months of such dissolution. This is an important provision that ensure the existence of elected bodies. Before the 73rd Amendment, in many states there used to be indirect elections to the district bodies, and there was no provision for immediate elections after dissolutions. 1992 से पहले जब 70th अमेंडमेंट को पार्लियामेंट से पास किया गया, 1993 में ये इफेक्ट इट वाज केम इनटू इफेक्ट. इससे पहले there was no direct elections for the jila parishad, and there was no provision for the elections within 6 months after dissolution of gram panchayat. But now these things are mandatory. So already we have done through 2 provisions that there are 3-tier structures. Then elections, the term of elections is 5 years. Now reservation. Now 1/3 of total seats are reserved for women, and some seats also reserved for SC and ST, and some seats now also reserved for OBCs. 1/3 of the positions in all panchayat institutions are reserved for women. Reservation for SC and ST are also provided for all the 3 levels. ग्राम पंचायत में भी, ब्लॉक समिति में भी, एंड इवन द जिला परिषद ऑल्सो. इन ऑल दीज 3 इंस्टीट्यूशंस सीट्स आर रिजर्व फॉर वुमेन, SC एंड STs. इफ द स्टेट फाइंड इट नेसेसरी दे कैन ऑल्सो प्रोवाइड फॉर रिजर्वेशन फॉर बैकवर्ड. यदि कास्ट किसी स्टेट के अंदर ओबीसी की पॉपुलेशन ज्यादा है या ये इस डिपेंड ऑन द स्टेट गवर्नमेंट, दे कैन ऑल्सो रिजर्व सम सीट्स फॉर द OBC. इट इज इंपॉर्टेंट टू नोट दैट दीज रिजर्वेशंस अप्लाई नॉट merely टू ऑर्डिनरी मेंबर्स. सिर्फ पंचायत के जो ऑर्डिनरी मेंबर्स होते हैं उनके लिए नहीं. सपोज देयर इज ए विलेज इज डिवाइडेड इनटू 1 2 3 4 वार्ड्स. फ्रॉम ईच वार्ड 1 पंच इज अपॉइंटेड, पंचायत मेंबर इज अपॉइंटेड. सो सीट्स आर रिजर्व फॉर दीज ऑर्डिनरी मेंबर्स एज वेल एज फॉर द अध्यक्ष और सरपंच पोस्ट ऑल्सो. सपोज इन एनी state, suppose there are 600 villages, and then 200 villages will be reserved for women for the post of sarpanch. So some seats are the positions of the chairperson or adhyaks at sarpanch at all three levels also reserved. Further, reservation of 1/3 of the seats for reserve is not merely in the general category of seat but also within the seat reserved for SC, ST and backward caste. This means that a seat may be reserved for a women candidate and one belonging to the SC and ST. एक साथ ये भी हो सकता है कोई सीट विमेंस के लिए रिजर्व है, साथ साथ ये भी हो सकता है कि उस गांव में जो सरपंच की जो विमेंस के लिए सीट रिजर्व है, साथ साथ वो SC या ST के लिए भी रिजर्व एक साथ हो सकती है. साइमल्टेनियसली दोनों सीट्स भी दो चीज एक साथ हो सकती है. दसा सरपंच वुड है, ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि जो सरपंच बने वो महिला हो, वो आदिवासी हो सकती है, वो दलित वुमेन भी हो सकती है. नेक्स्ट प्रोविजन इज ट्रांसफर ऑफ सब्जेक्ट्स. There are about 29 subjects. The subjects which were earlier on the state list and the subjects of local and state importance were mentioned in the state list. Only state government can make law regarding these subjects. But now out of total subjects of state list, now transfer to the 11th schedule. Another list is prepared and is known as 11th schedule. So 29 subjects which was earlier in the state list now are identified and listed in the 11th schedule of the constitution. These subjects were mostly linked to the development and welfare functions at the local level. The actual transfer of these functions depend upon the state legislation. Each state decides how many of these 29 subjects would be transferred to the local bodies. Out of these total subjects, 20 subjects, all these are related to the welfare and development of the local areas. Out of 29 subjects, which subjects will be transferred to the local government? It's depend on the state governments. Regarding the transfer of subject, there is an article that is known as Article 243G. This article states that powers, authority and responsibilities of panchayat. The legislature of a state may by law endow the panchayat with such powers and authority with respect to the matters listed in the 11th schedule. ये आर्टिकल ये कहता है कि ये पावर्स और अथॉरिटी और एंड द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ पंचायत ये स्टेट लेजिस्लेचर पर डिपेंड करता है कि वो कितने सब्जेक्ट जो 11th शेड्यूल में कितने सब्जेक्ट मेंशन है, 20 सब्जेक्ट लिस्टेड है, उनमें से कितने सब्जेक्ट्स को उनमें से कितनी पावर्स को वो पंचायतों को या लोकल गवर्नमेंट को ट्रांसफर करता है. सम ऑफ सब्जेक्ट्स आर लाइक एग्रीकल्चर, माइनर इरिगेशन, रूरल हाउसिंग, ड्रिंकिंग वाटर, रोड एंड कल्वर्ट्स, रूरल इलेक्ट्रिफिकेशन, पॉवर्टी एलिवेशन प्रोग्राम्स, libraries, market and fairs, women's and child development, social welfare. There are some subjects also mentioned are there. So there are total 29 subjects. So these subjects are transferred from state list to the 11th schedule. State Election Commission. Earlier there was no independent commission to conduct the elections for local government, but now state government, after the 73rd amendment, the state government is required to appoint a state election commissioner. The commission would be responsible for conducting elections to the panchayat raj institutions. Earlier the task of conducting elections for the local governments was performed by the state administration under the control of the state government, but now the office of state election commissioner is autonomous like the election commission of India. The state election commissioner is appointed by the state government, but after the appointment the state election commissioner is not work under the supervision of state government. It is not answerable to the state government. It is independent like the election commission of India. A state election commission is also not work under the supervision or guidance of the election commission of India. However, the state election commissioner is an independent officer and is not linked nor is the officer under the control of election commissioner of India. Next, State Finance Commission. The state government is also required to appoint a State Finance Commission once in a 5 year. 5 साल में once in a 5 year. 5 साल में एक बार स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को लोकल गवर्नमेंट के लिए फाइनेंस कमीशन बनाना भी कंपलसरी है. दिस कमीशन वुड एग्जामाइन द फाइनेंशियल पोजीशन ऑफ द लोकल गवर्नमेंट इन द स्टेट. It would also review the distribution of revenue between the state and local government on the one hand and between the rural and urban areas local governments on the other hand. स्टेट्स की फाइनेंशियल पोजीशंस को ये एग्जामाइन करता है. लोकल गवर्नमेंट अर्बन एरियाज को, लोकल एरियाज को कितना पैसा रिसोर्स प्रोवाइड कर रही है उसको एग्जामाइन करता है. दिस इनोवेशन इंश्योर दैट एलोकेशन टू फंड्स टू द रूरल लोकल विल नॉट बी अ पॉलिटिकल मैटर. ये कमीशन ये इंश्योर करता है कि जो लोकल हमारे एरियाज है, लोकल गवर्नमेंट बॉडीज है, उन्हें प्रॉपर तरह से उनके साथ फाइनेंशियल रिसोर्सेज शेयर होते रहे. So all these changes, all these provisions were done in the amendment of 73rd. That's all for today, students.